Hey guys, it's me again, and it's time for another episode of The Unknown Critic. So, let's get this crap fest over with, shall we? Roll it! Hey guys, I'm back again, and yes, it's a horrible me episode because I have a need for a haircut, a decent shave. It's in the middle of the night. I'm in my pajamas, and basically, I couldn't pick a movie this week. And no. Back up. You're not getting a video. Obviously, I'm here and we're talking, aren't we? I mean, we're having a conversation like a couple of adults. I say a couple of adults, like there's only 2 people watching this video. There could be like 6 million people watching this video, if not more. We are talking about YouTube here. Now, what I want to talk about today is movies that suck. But let's talk about sequels for a change. Like, let's talk about the fact that, okay, if you guys are big Clerks fans, I am. And we know that the important part is knowing that sequels suck. Now, you're going to sit there and you're going to tell me, no, there's a lot of sequels that don't suck. Like The Empire Strikes Back is the one everybody always brings up. The Empire Strikes Back, along with New Hope, and along with Return of the Jedi, is a trilogy, folks, which breaks the rule. If there's a trilogy, rule's broken. It's very simple to follow. But sequels in general suck. And one of the reasons is, okay, let's bring up something. I started to do Spider-Man. Not the ones that just came out like less than a decade ago. And here's my problems with it. Like, the first one was awesome. It was more than I ever wanted in a Spider-Man movie. Second one, kind of drug really hard. I know you're going to say, well, Scotty, that was a trilogy. The third one sucked even more than the second one. And I think what happens is people try too hard when they make sequels. They try too much. You had the Green Goblin in the first movie, and you had to deal with the whole Harry thing, and Peter, and all that. And it was great, because it was what Spider-Man's all about. The Dr. Octopus thing in the second one, or excuse me, Doc Ock, because, you know, I'm a child of the 80s, so Octopus was what we called him, or Dr. Octopus. But anyway, good acting on the villain. Horrible everything else. And then it comes down to it, and then 3 was just a reason to throw as many things as possible at the viewer, and it sucked. It absolutely sucked. And then a lot of people are going to fight back here at this rule because I know what you're thinking now. You're sitting there and telling me that T2, Terminator 2, was the greatest movie ever. Out of that franchise, other than the original, T2 is awesome. Unfortunately, here's the problem with Terminator. If you make a movie, and you set up something, and I'll talk about another movie here in a minute that follows the same thing. You set up something that's the rules. This is the way it's going to happen. From the very beginning, you know this is going to happen. You can't come back here 2 or 3 movies later and change up the whole set of rules. It doesn't work. You can reinvent the entire storyline, but you can't change the rules. The rules are there for the viewer to understand and to work with and to have as basis to hold on to, because that's how they believe what you're telling them. Terminator starts out, story, by the end of it, they just have kind of moved it around and twisted it and stuck it here and put it there and put it over there and here and there and there and here. I don't know. I think they just keep changing the rules just for the sheer fact that they can still make money and do this stuff. And I know that people out there right now, there's some of you who are shaking your heads and going, yes, Scotty, that's exactly what film's about. But when it comes down to it, it screws the viewer over. And another one, a good point, okay, I'm going to point this one out to you. Me and the wifey, okay, so like, we've only been married we've been married for quite a while, but at the time we'd only been married for like a year, maybe. And The Ring 2 came out, and I was one of those suckers that fell in the ring and said, oh God, it was such a scary movie and everything like that. Ring 2 come out, I gotta see Ring 2. Ring 2 is gonna be so badass. Ring 2 was the biggest piece of tripe I'd ever seen in my life. Ring 2 took the first movie, twisted it up, chopped it up, made it into something that wasn't, made all the rules from the first movie that made it to where you survived, that just destroyed it and took it out and threw it somewhere and said, you know what? Let's just start over. Now, if you watch the Japanese versions are far more better. And there's like 5 of those guys. We only got up to 2, and there's a reason why. That movie sucked. And then there's those classic sequels that you could tell just killed the franchise in the first place. Like, Slumber Party Massacre. First movie, dead on, good to me, campy, culty movie. When it comes down to it, though, when they went to Slumber Party Massacre 2, which had that chick from Wings, whatever her name was, it all went south from there. All of a sudden, now the killer who was cold and calculating is now a greaser, and he's a rock and roller, and I don't know. And I'm going to say this. This one right here is probably going to get me crucified. I seriously think this is going to get me death threats. I love Transformers with all my heart. I loved the first movie with all my heart. The second movie, I hope the third one makes it. I hope it becomes a trilogy and we don't lock it down into the sequel pattern, because I loved character making in the movie. There were a lot of good characters. But the two brothers could have lived without those guys. Awesome other stuff. Couple of the jokes with Jetfire, not that funny. I just don't know. It's like they're taking a franchise and they're trying to do something with it, and then I'm getting a bad taste in my mouth thinking about it, because I know that I've got people out there that are going to tell me, "Oh, Transformers 2 is the greatest movie ever." It was okay. It wasn't great though. It's not what I'm expecting. It had some good parts. Then it had a lot of bad parts. But the point being is, hopefully you're understanding what I'm talking about here, and you're getting the fact that these movies can be viewed as good, and these movies can also be viewed as bad. I mean, I'm going to end tonight with one of mine and the wifey's personal favorite film series, and that's the Phantasm movies. The first Phantasm movie is quite possibly, just to me, it's a milestone of cinema history. It was a good concept. It keeps you guessing. It's not as gory of a horror film, well, other than the whole, ball sticking to the head, and anyway. But it does keep you guessing and stuff. And then they come around and start to make 2, like 5 or 6 years later. And when they do that, they start the movie out where the last movie ended, which is fine. That's always a good thing to do in a sequel, because you're bringing in people that didn't see the first movie. But then all of a sudden, like, they change the actor. And that's the one thing that's going to kill a sequel, is if you've got an actor in the first movie and you decide to do a second movie, unless you just can't get those people to be in that second movie, do not recast them as someone that looks nothing like them. Because the problem is you kind of settle in that Mike isn't the new Mike. And then by the time the third movie comes around, they got the Mike from the original movie to come back, who looks nothing like Mike from Part 2. The only person that kept around through every movie is Reggie Bannister, which, cross my heart, hope to die. Reggie Bannister, love seeing him in every film he's in. It's just, you change that one major element, and that can just sink it right there. Anyway, this has been The Unknown Critic. I understand I didn't pick a movie, but there's a lot of things that I just said that make movies bad that you can go check out. If you haven't seen any of these movies, please go check out every one that I spoke on. They are at least good to watch. They just aren't good as what they're supposed to be. So if you have any comments or complaints, hey, put them down below in the comments. Also, follow me on Facebook. See if I can center that right there. Yeah, Facebook. And if you got Twitter, you can find me at Twitter right there. There, actually. Anyway, guys, hope you guys are doing good. I'll get you a movie that you really should watch coming out pretty soon, within the next day or so. So, it's me telling you what not to watch. Almost messed that one up. Be seeing you.